I'm pretty sure that this former brothel is not quite as former as I had been led to believe. Kip and I ascend the extremely narrow staircase, pushing past the single men coming and going, making our way slowly to the room that I had reserved for the night. The building is from the Belle Epoque, and its over a century-old history shows in the creaky steps and the tiny passageways. The owners maintained the themed rooms from its supposedly former days. I used my shaky French to email back and forth with the owner, and now we are here for my first and only night in Paris. The city is not my first choice. Mumbai or Cape Town are a little more my speed. I am here because my mother never made it. At 33, she passed, having a degree in French language and a rejection letter from a school in Paris, tucked neatly away in a box I would discover 2 decades later. What broke my heart wasn't the never-realized desires for the future she had written in her application, but the care in which she had preserved her words and the letter, which dashed her dream, paper-clipped to the back. She couldn't let go. Instead, she filed it away so carefully that the paper didn't even have a crease years after being buried in the dark. Kip and I enter our room, and it is perfect. Scalloped walls with mermaid wallpaper, a full-size bronze statue of a naked woman that once ran as a fountain into the tiled tub below, large clamshells whose pearls glowed for bedside lamps, and the bed. The single bed, something I missed with my shaky French translations, was obviously meant for many things, but a good night's sleep for a 6-month pregnant lady and a gay man are not on the list. I wash off the travels of the day while Kip takes detailed pictures of everything to send to his boyfriend, and I briefly have a moment of terror as my belly won't fit through the door of the shower. This is not a place for pregnant ladies. But I am able to reach the soap and escape my fate of having to ask Kip to pry my naked self out of this tiny enclosure. This is my second child, and I've only recently found out that it will be a boy. My 4-year-old daughter is at home with my husband, Ben, still too young to beg to go traveling with me, but I made sure she would feel connected and inspired by leaving notes for her each day. Her daddy is reading them to her, telling her where I am and what I am doing. I love traveling alone. The solitude amongst many, the freedom of striking out in a new city, not knowing what I will find. Yet I'm not sure why I decided to go on this trip. I told myself and Ben that I just needed to get out of the country, but I wonder now if I needed this time to contemplate the changes that the new baby brings. And why Europe? I could have finally seen the Mayan temples of Belize or snuggled into the mountains of Bhutan, admiring their colorful phallic artwork. Did I choose this because it's what my mother would have done? I wonder how she felt at this time in her second pregnancy. The cancer would start to cause problems in about a year when she was breastfeeding, but while she was pregnant with my little sister, she wouldn't have known that part of her future. She certainly wouldn't have been across the ocean on a 3-country whirlwind tour, staying in castles, riding ferries and trains, spending the night in a not-so-former brothel. It is so worth it. The bed is hard and the amenities lacking, but we laugh a lot and enjoy every inch of our Belle Epoque opulence. The next morning, after a fantastic breakfast of French pastries, we head to one of Kip's favorite places, the Sacré-Cœur, the highest point in Paris, which of course means stairs. At this point, I'm a little over a week into my travels, and no place I have stayed was built in the age of elevators. So I am over the moon when Kip suggests that we take the funicular up the hill. Besides, it's a funicular. You don't pass that up, even if you aren't carrying an extra 20 pounds of baby creation in your belly. As we travel up the steep angle, our conversation turns to my son, and more specifically to his penis. To circumcise or not to circumcise, that is the question. I've never thought much about it, but here I am, responsible for another creature's existence in the world, for his heart, his mind, and his body. For 30 years, I did not want to be a mother, but then a long-standing friendship developed into something more. Someone who is always there for me, lifts me up. With him, I can be strong when I need to be strong, and I can be weak when I need to be weak. He was fine with my decision not to have children, but also excited when I changed my mind. And now our extremely strong-willed daughter, Mira, exists in the world. She gets more paint on her face and hands than on paper. She's running down the sidewalk with her arms outstretched like she's an airplane, chattering about going to China with Mommy because she loves the food and she loves Mommy. We step off the funicular and we make our way to the front of the cathedral. The view from here shows how flat Paris is. Only a few spots where buildings peek out slightly higher than the rest. So much lore and love and food has come from this seemingly unremarkable landscape. And I wonder what my mother would have done with her time if she had made it. Would pastries and coffee have been her thing? Maybe late night dinners with lots of wine? Or would art museums have drawn her in? I was only 7 when she passed, so to me she is more of a concept than a person. I don't know the answers. The only references I possess are a few papers and some jewelry. She remains a mystery. And now I am 2 years older than she ever got to be, bringing her second grandchild into the world, staring out across a city that captured her heart, but she never got to see. I feel that even though he's only a peanut, my son, soon to be named Kai, is a part of this with me. I need this time to bond with him. I turn away from the city into the Sacré-Cœur, towering above us. Millions have come here in supplication, looking for answers and comfort. That isn't my thing, though I'm sure my mother would have found something profound in this Catholic cathedral. Her stored paperwork also revealed that she was active in the Baha'i Church. For her, I have spent time in the Baha'i Temple in Evanston and traveled to the opposite side of the world to the one in New Delhi. The giant concrete lotus petals are so different from the Gothic structures in front of me. But Baha'is believe that all religious paths lead to the same place. My guess is that it would not have mattered what house of faith she was in. I light a candle for her, and I place it among all the other glittering lights, representatives of someone loved and lost. I'm reminded of one of my last memories I have of her on my sister's 3rd birthday, when we all decorated cupcakes and lit candles in preparation to sing. One little girl's hair caught fire, sending my mom into a panic to put it out as the gaggle of young children laughed at the uproar. My emotions are muddled, and I can't sort them out from one another. I am not my mother, and her fate is not mine. But I hope I was able to bring a little bit of her here to Paris. And I'm grateful for this time to contemplate my past and my future, to laugh and enjoy life while imagining what this little peanut will be like, and to dream about all the adventures that he and his sister will someday create. Kip walks up behind me as I stare into the distance. Hey, do you want to see the Eiffel Tower before we head back to the train? Let's do it.